Hey friends, this is Marilyn from tarotclarity.com, and in going through my decks in order to find the publishers from A to Z, I've been revisiting several decks that I forgot about. And I have done from time to time videos merely on decks that I've forgotten about. And this one falls under the category of not having a publishing house associated with it because I guess it was an indie deck. And so from time to time, since the indie decks don't seem to have publishing houses associated with them, so every now and then I think I should do some indie decks as part of the A to Z. Now this particular deck I think came out around 2019. It was called the 5 Cent Tarot, and I supported it on whatever it was. It might have been, I forget which one it was, Kickstarter or something like that. But I was attracted to the art because I thought it was beautiful at the time, when I was perusing it online. It came nice quality magnetic box. And it had like nice little myth, it's just ask the cards, and then Madame Clara sees all. It came in a plush bag. The box fit in the plush bag, which was nicely made. It had a nice pin. It had a little white book, which was sufficient, and it covered the, if you needed to see what their explanation was for some of the cards with unusual artwork, you had the book and it answered the question. And it was really beautiful. I mean, I'm sure my camera is not picking up how beautifully delicate the back of these cards are. But the green is just exquisite. It's just really beautiful. And then I opted to have green edging. Now I noticed that this deck is available on Amazon for like under $20. So they must have it, and it's no longer in all this, the way you can order it now, it's in a tuck box and you don't get the extra stuff. But, and I'm not sure if the card stock and quality is the same as what I have here, but the art would be the same. And I did not put these cards in any particular order. It's randomly, I didn't put it in order, but I figured I'd revisit it and show you guys. And if you want to go back and find my original video on it, if I can find it, I'll put that below as well. Now, I think one of the reasons that I never really took to this deck, aside from the fact that I really thought it was beautiful, was because there's kind of an overall sameness, when I look at the cards. I have to really look at this and say, oh, what is this? Knight of Matches? Because even the matches themselves, I'd have, aside from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I can't even find the 9th one. So it's a little confusing, right? When I look at this, I don't say, oh, that's the 2 of matches. You know what I'm saying? When I see this, I don't think well, okay. I might think that looks like the world, but I'd have to check and make sure, right? So I think my problem with it was that at first glance, I can't readily identify the cards. And if I can't readily identify the cards, then then it detracts from what I'm supposed to be doing, which is interpreting the cards. But at any rate, that doesn't stop us sometimes from buying cards that are beautiful. And for those of you who may just like to have an unusual deck in your collection, it's still available for under $20. It's not going to have, like I said, all the special little, nice things that the Kickstarter deck had, but the design on the cards, I think, would be similar. I don't know. I think the color looked like it was a different printing color too. So it may not have the delicacy of this deck. So I just want to mention that there probably would be some differences. But it's a nature deck, which some people may really like because there's no people being represented. And that way, there's no need for diversity because they're animals and they're bugs and they're flowers and they're plants. And each one of the cards has a bunch of keywords if you're learning. I think that might be helpful. If you already interpret the cards, they could be a distraction, particularly if you're interpreting the cards and you don't interpret it in a way that, you know, like a client could say, well, how come it says moving on and you're not saying moving on? So sometimes keywords on cards can be limiting, which is why I kind of like, you know, pip cards, because you can just reinterpret them as you feel it, right? Anyway, I'm saying too much. These really are beautiful cards, though. The High Priestess. Well, okay, we have the owl. Now, that's a good association, right? I think I just have to, I think being older, you know, I don't want to have to look so hard to see what I'm looking at. I want to be able to look at a card and be able to identify it readily. The cardstock is delicious. This cardstock was really, really nice. Like I said, I can't speak on the way it's being printed now for under $20, because this certainly was not under $20 when I bought it. It was more than that, but if you're interested in an inexpensive deck with beautiful artwork, then this may be a nice option for you. Isn't that something? And the texture, I don't, you know, if any of you purchase, you know, go on Amazon to purchase it, please tell me if the cardstock is as wonderful as this. There's a texture and you can feel it. I don't know if you can hear it, but you can feel it when you slide the cards, and it's just, and when you shuffle the cards, it's just great. I'll shuffle the cards quickly before I end the video. But you see what I mean about it being so busy, right? I mean, there's too much sameness for me, I think, in under, you know, in the cards, and I have to really look hard to see what the heck is that, rather than being able to identify what it is. There's some decks that are just so busy, I can't use them. I think Tarot of the Holy Light is one of them. There's some of them, they're beautiful. They're absolutely stunning. But you know, the concepts aren't readily, you know, they're just, the cards are just so busy. It's just more of a distraction than a help. But I do like having, you know, the tortoise for patience as being one of the keywords for temperance, which I wouldn't necessarily associate with temperance, but this deck does. Now the Messenger. Now this may be an extra card. 15. But that, oh, I guess that's in place of the devil then. I mean, that does look like 15, right? But but the rest of the cards don't have Roman numerals on them, so. Oh yeah, that one does. Okay, so maybe it's just that the Triumph cards have the the Roman numerals on them. But then you can barely see them because they're obliterated with the keyword. I mean, look at that sun. I mean, it's a beautiful deck. But it's not a deck that I reach for to read. It'd be a good deck for meditation. They just get lost in the images. Now they have 24. Okay, so they have additional cards. Here's a universe. I probably passed a few that were beyond 21. I just thought I'd pass it along. And let me just show you how this deck shuffles. Hopefully, the deck that exists on Amazon for under $20 has a similar quality. And even if it doesn't, it's probably still worth $20 because we're always looking for inexpensive decks. And some of you, a deck like this might appeal to you more than it appeals to me. And I just wanted to mention it to you, especially if you like having decks that have keywords on them. That might help you. And if any of you do get this deck, gosh, it would be awesome if you could just pass along the information to me and others under this in the comment section of this video, just to see how dissimilar it is. But it is a nice shuffler, and you can see the texture, right? Can you see the texture? So I'd be interested to know if the $20 version is as nicely made. Oh well, I just thought I'd pass it along. Until next time, friends, peace, stay well, be kind, and do no harm.